is the survival of the fittest. Fittest in the sense your competence, your ability to rise to the occasion, your ability to manage. And I am the one who believes that management, in simple words, is the common sense that is required for the occasion. If you ask me one more definition for management, I am the one to say management is a solution to a problem. For every problem, as there is a solution, management can solve any problem. That could be the reason for people to say that no ideology, no ism, no political theory, or not even a great man can solve the problems of any country. It is only sound management can. When I say sound management, don't think it as the sound engineering. Good management. It is only the good management that can solve the problems of any country. It is not any ism, ideology, or political theory. Even for a situation like this, management is the solution. But the solution that we are giving must be well thought of, well calculated, because it is going to be determinantal, very expensive to the people concerned. But at the time of turbulence, people need to make immediate decisions. It's a very complicated, paradoxical situation wherein you have to react quickly, but at the same time carefully. If you are a little careless, the implications are going to be disastrous and people will make you responsible for every consequences. There comes the importance of the role of expert policymakers, expert decision makers. When I use the word expert, you may ask me a question, who is that expert? An expert is one who is experienced. And what is experience? Experience, in my opinion, is not the number of years that you have completed. It is your exposure and it is your ability to handle the situation based on the past mistake that you have committed. Before I stop the lecture, somebody asked me a question. If few more new pandemics comes, what should be our preparedness? Life should go on, whether we live or otherwise. People will be there on the earth. Whatever lessons that we are learning must act as the guiding lights for the future policymakers, future decision makers. What has happened now should not be repeated. But as I was telling, experience comes out of past incidents. If all your attempts were successful in the past, you will not be called an expert. You are just a winner. But it is the difficult times, troubles, that educates anybody. We must be grateful to the difficulties and the troubles that makes us strong. Even for a businessman, it is the past experience that acts as a reckoner for making future decisions. Now the decisions that you are making need to be holistic, strategic. I'm sure you will be knowing strategy is not a plan. If anybody respond to my question, I will be happy. What do you understand by the word strategy? Anybody in the audience? What is a strategy? Am I reaching? Can you hear me?
A plan of action?
Not exactly. Not exactly.
To implement new technologies.
Pardon me?
New technologies.
Not necessarily.
Preparing for future uncertainties.
Do you mean to say planning?
Yeah.
It's more than a plan. A strategy is more than a plan. Many a time, people use this word strategy as a fashion, you know. There is a popular saying, strategy is both the darling and the stepchild of contemporary management thinkers. It is both a darling and the stepchild, because it is the darling because everybody uses the word as a fashion. He's a strategist, I made a strategy, strategic failure, strategic success, something like that. It is a lovely word. It is the stepchild because nobody is clear as to what it is. If you go on asking people, what's a strategy, you know, people will ultimately end up by saying a plan, a policy, a philosophy, a guide. Is it a policy? Is it a philosophy? Is it a guide? It is more than that. How to define? How to define? My simple definition for a strategy, I think I'm not boring you, it is not irrelevant. For teachers of commerce and management, it is one of the most significant things. A strategy is a comprehensive, unified, integrated master plan that connects everything in a system. It's a unified, comprehensive, integrated master plan that connects everything in the system. Take a simple example. COVID-19 has created a problem of unemployment. Unprecedented rate of unemployment. 400 million people have become unemployed. 400 million have lost their direct jobs. And about 20 million are replaced. They got into different jobs. Now I am putting a question before you. How to solve this unemployment problem? What shall we do for solving unemployment? This has taken the income of many people. Because of income loss, millions of people have become not only jobless, shelterless, hopeless in life. There is no hope. How to solve this problem of unemployment? Hunger. Hunger is a universal problem associated with unemployment. How to make this world free from hunger? I think I'm reaching you. Am I talking to you like a political speech? No, it's not a political speech. Unless the teachers understand the gravity of the problem, they will not come out with innovative ideas, innovative thinkings. They cannot inspire people to take up innovative positions. See here, there is no one solution for this. Unemployment created over the years, plus this impact of COVID-19 cannot be solved by one solution. Just imagine, by giving unemployment stay fund, you cannot solve the problem. By supplying food packets, you cannot solve the problem. by reducing the salary, 50-50 payment. By making a reduction in the salary, you cannot solve the problem. There must be a long-term oriented, a problem oriented, a timely solution. Therefore, strategy is a unified, comprehensive, integrated course of action that connects everything, that is multidimensional, but looks like a master plan. Just imagine in agriculture, if there is no proper yield because of the poor fertility of the soil, what will you do? If you know that it is because of the poor fertility, fertile the land, that's it. If you know that the seeds are inferior quality, change the seeds, that's it. But in a turbulence, you don't know where is the problem. You have to think holistically. You have to identify the problem. For that, you need people with broader vision, broader expertise, ability to connect, ability to interpret. That is what the beauty of the subject strategic management. Strategic management, which is also called corporate management or business policy, is a subject that normally taught at the higher levels of management education in almost all the B schools across the globe, wherein we make an attempt to define a strategy. It is not something like planning. Strategies are carved. Strategies are developed, designed by using the holistic approach and the overall experience. This pandemic has given us an holistic thinking about the business. After the pandemic, what had happened to our business? Just have a look at it. I started with nature of business today in India. But after the COVID, the trend has changed. Because of all the initiatives made by people, a new normal has come into the picture in terms of industry and business position. What is that? The first and the most significantly visible new normal, both in business and life, is digital transformation. Digital transformation. During the last 2 years, most of the companies went for digitizing their operations. Not necessarily their supply chain, their payment system, their procurement and order processing system, their recruitments, customer care, handling people, everything got digitized. Huge investments are being made on ERP softwares, robotic technology, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence has become the order of the day. This is the new normal. If you don't know digital literacy, people will look at you differently. And the mobile phone has become the most powerful gadget, most powerful magic box in the hands of people. This is business. Business is in your hand today. I think I am right in saying this. The new transformation is digital transformation. But despite of that, the new normal is, believe me, so much of digitization has not eliminated the importance of human beings. Because even digital technology can be developed and used only by human hands. Only people with high caliber, people with the latest knowledge of engineering and technology are getting opportunities everywhere. there is to be plenty of job opportunities in today's industry. Believe me, lot of new openings are coming up for youngsters with the required skill. What skill is relevant? The skill today, digital technology based algorithm has become the most powerful word today. If you are strong in algorithm, strong in digital know-how, you can get opportunity anywhere. But the type of jobs that you are going to create will be different. It is not as usual, the earlier manual labor, salesmanship, no such jobs. There is a saying, people who are in the colleges and the universities today, after completing their course, will be made to work on jobs which are yet to born. I repeat, our young generation are going to work on jobs which are not yet born. Such new jobs are going to be in the industry and business. That is going to be the new normal. Only people who prepare, who are equipped themselves, will get opportunity. But man is in the central point today, even today. Pandemic once again made man powerful. Only those with power, what I say with power, power may be knowledge power, skill power, your ability to resist, your ability to rise to the occasion. That power has become important today. Just look into people who are getting re-employment. Only those with this type of capable skills are getting job, and all others were made to stay back. You will be knowing digital transformation and human focus ended with a new type of working environment called working from home. Work from home, Work from home is a new concept for which even the teachers are adopted. The advantages, limitations of work from home. I'm not going to develop on this, it's a different topic altogether. But this is the new normal today. Followed by the stress, stress has become a common thing everywhere. Whether it is mental stress, physical stress, or stress on time. There is no leisure. There is nothing like a relaxing environment. Only those who are competitive will survive. Survival of the fittest has become again the order of the day as the new normal in business. And every company started thinking about cost consideration. Cost is the most important issue. You have to show the world that you can produce your product better than your competitor at a lower price, cheaper price, with the promised quality. Both the things cannot happen at a time. This is a big challenge for every businessman today. They have to make decisions at this crisis. And one more trend that we are seeing today, digital pharma transformation has resulted in cyber crimes, cyber insecurity, number of frauds, fraudulent practices are on the rise. That may affect the credibility of your business, credibility of you as an individual. You need to be doubly cautious. Now you have to come out with a solution for all this problem. How to solve this problem? This is the given situation. For this given situation, you have to come out with solution. The solution is a radical change in our approach, a radical change, a total change in our activities, thinking. A strategist, a strategist is one who looks beyond the boundaries, who imagines things different from others. There is a popular saying, successful people think differently. This is the high time for you to think differently. What radical changes are happening? What radical changes that you have to bring? The fundamental changes and the breakthroughs have already been. Some of us have lost the jobs, some of us have lost the customer, business, something new. Get away from the beaten track. Old practices will not help you any longer. You have to get out of the old practices. Experiment. Experiment. That experiment that you are making may come out with something new which is away from your earlier business. Something new which was your earlier business. Say for instance, you may be knowing, because of the social distancing, because of the pandemic, because of the technological innovations in the entertainment industry, cinema halls have been closed. Most of the cinema halls are converted into chowdhuries, marriage spots. Some of them are converted into godowns. Likewise, industries need to think in terms of changing their product strategy, changing their marketing strategies. It is the decisions that you are going to take will be highly disruptive. Disruptive means replacing the existing, putting something new in its fold, in its place, through a revolutionized transformation. That transformation can happen only through innovative strategies. Any strategy that makes it can be called innovative. How to make that reinvention? Can you follow me? Am I reaching?
Yes,
Please.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
How to make such strategies? You have to reinvent your business. What does it mean reinventing business means? Transform into new business model. I'm not asking everybody to change. If you are worstly affected by this pandemic, think of a change. Change is the most inevitable thing. Don't worry to change. Get ready for change. If you don't change, change will change you. That is going to be very drastic. If you want to survive, think of a new business model. What is a business model? You will be knowing. Business model is the methodology, the idea that you have adopted. It can be expressed in different form. Business, if you consider as an act of value creation, business as an act of converting the raw materials into finished products, business, if you consider as an act of meeting the customer's expectations, business, if you think as an act of making profit, think the different model, how it can be done. Say for instance, you may be knowing most of the companies started thinking differently in terms of their operations. They started hiring the logistics business in place of their own network, taking the help of outsourcing, outsourced employees, outsourcing the logistics, sharing platforms. Say for instance, accommodations are shared by different companies. Joint advertisement. Two different companies who are one-time competitors may be giving joint advertisements. Joint sourcing of raw materials. Competitors who are getting raw materials from a foreign country may source the raw materials jointly. This is all different business models. I have quoted a couple of innovative business models. Say for instance, our business model may be based on a value proposition. How are you creating value? Whether value is created by processing, by packaging, By arranging for a delivery or by assembling. Think of an automobile company, whether you are manufacturing a car or whether you are facilitating for the dispersal or the sales of a car. Most of the car companies, automobile industry, have tied up with one or the other multinational company. Here, if you think your manufacturing become expensive, you may shift only for dealership. That's also value creation. You may be producing the product, but now you have become a trader in it. Banks, instead of competing with each other, banks may collaborate, go for joint ventures, invest in business together. I think I'm reaching you. Nobody is going to say that I will not lend because you have borrowed from bank X. X and Y, both of them with a mutual understanding, invest on a business. This is the trend. Because strategy is something that helps you to bail out, that helps you to get out. As I was telling, in a war field, the word strategy is derived from a Greek expression, stratego. Stratego means the general. If you want to win a war, you have to see that your army, navy, air force, general public, everybody must support you. Then only you can win the war. Now in your business, if you want to survive, somewhere you have to compete, somewhere you have to collaborate, somewhere you have to fight. Whatever is required, do that. The solution is, say, for instance, here, if your ship is shrinking, assume that I'm using the word, when the ship is shrinking, you have to survive. How? There is a saying, when the ship started shrinking, don't pray, jump. But before you jump, make sure whether you know swimming or not. If you don't know swimming, wait for somebody to come and rescue. That is what the compensation from the government that gives and all. If you know swimming, jump into action. Don't pray and look for alternatives. Therefore, innovation happens only at the time of crisis, like in a war. There is a popular saying, need is the mother of invention. Now there is a need for survival. Companies are at crisis. They have to innovate. How can they do that? Changes in value proposition, value by manufacturing, value by trading, value by packing, value by adding features. Change the model. I think I am reaching you. If I am not, you can ask questions. Change the target customer. Say, for instance, either you are targeting only urban customers. If the pandemic has taught you a lesson that you cannot meet their changing expectations, shift from this customer to the new segment of the customer. Say, for instance, I was manufacturing cars that are meant for family-based cars. Now there is a threat because of the competition, because of the economic crisis and things like that. I may shift from manufacturing family cars to business vehicles, goods carriage vehicles. Even the luxury car makers move towards making economy cars. That means change your target customer either from urban to rural, rural to urban, rich segment to poor, middle class segment, from middle class to the luxury segment. Change your customer. That is another option. Change your distribution channel. Business model change can happen through distribution channel. You will be knowing these days of internet marketing, telemarketing, digital marketing, franchisee, appointing a franchisee, wholesaler, retailers, have all taken different shapes. What channel suits your purpose? Make an exploration. Strategy formation calls for exploration. Explore the possibility. Study your distribution system. Adopt a new distribution system which is economical, effective, and liked by the customer. One more thing is relationship. Change the relationship. Say, for instance, it has become a situation wherein one-time competitors have become partners today, collaborators today, and one-time collaborators have become enemies also. So that if inevitable, change the relationships. Why I am telling all this is, a strategy calls for a multi-dimensional approach. One plan will not solve the problem. It must be multi-dimensional and aim at the different benefits which may ultimately contribute for overall business success. Change the value configuration. Value proposition is different. Configuration means value is made out of what? Your product value is made out of what? Say, for instance, compromise with some of the features that added cost to your product. Reduce the cost. Cost reduction calls for elimination of unwanted features in your product, elimination of unwanted expenditure in your process. Go for that value configuration. Reuse the resources. Resource management is one of the most important things in strategic management. You will be knowing a popular saying. In a war, one who runs out of arms and ammunition is sure to lose. I repeat, in a war, one who runs out of arms and ammunition is sure to lose. The arms and ammunition for business is its resources and the infrastructure. Optimal utilization of the resources must be ensured at all the time. Eliminate the dead costs, unused resources, lean organization, what we call today the lean organization, based on just-in-time approach to management and problem solving, will help you to optimize the use of resources. That may calls for new partnerships. But you might have read about a new international treaty between the Quad countries. India, Australia, Japan, and US. They got into a new agreement to share the technology with a one-point program of keeping China out of the alliance. Because China has become a threat for half of the world in terms of technology. To fight this enemy, we have to make another alignment. That alignment, you have to think as a businessman, not as a conspiracy, but a strategy for survival. It is a war. In a war, my enemy's enemy is my friend. That's the strategy. But is it worth making friendship with my enemy's enemy? That we have to think again and again. What are the future consequences? That we have to think again and again. Because when you make a strategic decision, believe me, there are certain ambiguities. I don't know whether I am effectively reaching you or not. The problem with strategic decision making, or the most important decision making, is one that decisions are to be made quickly and carefully. When you are quick, it is difficult to be careful. When you become too cautious, you will become slow. This is the dilemma. One more thing is, when you make a strategic decision, there will be a confusion between concentrating on the short-term benefits over the long-term benefits. If you think of the short-term benefits, you are going to miss the long-term. If you aim for the long-term, in the short-term, you will be nowhere. To survive for tomorrow, first I must live today. My tomorrow's growth depends on today's survival. This is another challenge. And one more thing is withdrawal versus future. If you withdraw today, there will not be future. If you want a future, today you have to fight. I think I am reaching you. Am I? Am I reaching and boring you?
Yeah, yeah,
No,
sir.
no,
Yeah.
no, sir, no, sir.
If I am boring, please ask some questions. Another most important issue with the strategy formulation is action versus inertia. Action is immediately called for. In a war, you cannot test everybody. Nobody is a relative in the war field, War field is war field. But thinking that you cannot kill everybody on the street. Action versus inertia is a big challenge. If you are not active, somebody will fire you. If you are active, you are going to kill somebody who may be an innocent. Downsizing of organizational manpower, removal of people from their jobs, even the skilled people. Honest employees were lost in jobs. There was no way to protect their interest. If you protect somebody, others will also take a shelter under that. So that action calls for, once again, thinking emotionally. This is the dilemma that most of the strategy formulators encounter. If you want to close the business today, that is going to the end. But by closing, you are going to seize your future. How to do that? How to survive? Turning out an adversary may take away an advantage. How beautifully coined these words, Turning out an adversary, take away the advantages. Sometimes, in order to enjoy the advantage, you have to tolerate some adverse things also in life. Like, say, for instance, if you want to see the stars, if you want to see the stars, you have to tolerate the darkness. That is why I said strategic management is more connected with philosophy. Believe me, in a management hierarchy, when you go high and high, it is your conceptual skills that become important, not your technical skills. Conceptually, how strong you are to relate, to interpret, to connect yourself with the society and the external world, that becomes important when you become a CEO, when you become a chairman, when you become the chief of an organization. That's the reason strategic management is sometimes called as business philosophy. Business philosophy. I think I am reaching you. As I was telling, you need to transform into new business models. The purpose of transforming into new business model is to make a resilient business to face the crisis. What is a resilient business? The word resilience has become very popular these days after COVID-19. To be resilient means to be intelligent, to rise to the occasion, to be quick in action. Your business model must be quick enough to respond to the situation. What is in demand, produce that. What is not required, stop it, however pet it is for your business. Think of alternative solutions. Sky is the limit. But there are constraints, don't worry. Unless you take the constraints and the risk, you cannot survive. You have to come out of this crisis means be resilient, be quick, act spontaneously. As I was telling, many companies are not prepared for this. Many companies concentrated on one single business. Who are the people put into trouble these days because of this turbulence? Are the ones who have concentrated on a single business, single market, single vendor, single supplier. And people who have multiples of all these things have succeeded and survived and grown unexpectedly. And another thing is, if it is possible, change the game plan of your field. Changing the game plan of your field. What does it mean? Say, for instance, you are in a particular field, healthcare sector. You are in insurance sector. An insurance company may think in terms of setting up of an hospital. An hospital may think in terms of starting health insurance. An hospital may set up a pharmaceutical factory. I think I'm right in my saying. I don't know whether I'm reaching. If I'm not, please. Okay. Change the game plan. You have changed your plan. A logistics company which was supplying only goods may think in terms of transportation of people. They may get into tourism. Originally, it is a logistics company. Now they are into tourism. You know, a hotel may turn into an healthcare center. I think you have noticed it during this pandemic. Hotels have become the healthcare centers, quarantine centers. There are some expressions that I have learned recently, quarantine and other things, right? Hotels started hiring doctors. Normally, the hospitals used to hire doctors. There are hotels which started hiring doctors. Personalized services for their VVIP customers. Think of VVIP segment of the market. They don't like to go to a hospital, they can come to a star hotel. You treatment there with your qualified doctors, popular doctors. Change the plan. Even we have changed our plan, Teaching is going to be blended learning and blended teaching hereafter. Right? Whether you like it or not, you have to make a blend of both online and offline teaching. Still, there is no guarantee about offline classes. Right? Online classes are the assured thing. Therefore, change your game plan, change your structure, change your script, change your pedagogy, methodology of work. That is what strategic reinvention that is needed for the day. Overall, you have to answer 3 basic issues about the business model that you are going to take up. I think you can follow me why I'm telling this is, if you have these features in your mind, while teaching any subject as a teacher, your focus will be different. I'm very confident I'm not talking to business people. I'm talking to business and commerce teachers who create them, right? You have to answer the questions. How can we create value? Where is value? Value is the benefit that the customer receives from us and that makes him satisfied. What can make the customer satisfied? Value is the intrinsic capability of the product or the service that we are delivering that makes the customer satisfied. So that the basic question that you have to answer is, how can I create value? If I cannot create, from where I can get it? Believe me, All the time, you need not be the creator. All the time, you need not be the manufacturer. There are plenty of avenues to get it. As I said, a hotel can be converted into an hospital. For that, you need not have to produce doctors. Doctors are there already. An hospital can also become a 5-star hotel. There are hotels to come and set up their show with you. Airlines. Look at the new and modern airline business. They are creating a lot of new features to ensure healthy and safe journey of their customer with tie-up with lot many other service suppliers, other service providers. Sorry. Therefore, how to create value, from where to capture value, and how can we deliver that value? In what form? Business means only these 3 things only. Earlier I said marketing and innovation. Remember, business involves only 2 things, marketing and innovation. That calls for one, thinking about value. Thinking about value rotates around creation, capturing, delivery. Can I create value? Can I do it on my own? If yes, I can. How can I do that? If no, from where can I get it? And to whom and how I can deliver that? How can I deliver value to my customers? If these 3 questions are answered, then business will become easy. Solutions can be there. Overall, what is the new normal the business expects today? I'm again summarizing everything because it's a turbulence. In a turbulence, whatever picture that I have captured, that I have listed and presented for you. The new normal that's happening because of the strategic thinking in business today is a shift towards localization. Everybody started thinking about localizing the business. Some 25 years back, we started talking about globalization, and globalization has a history. It has become an history. Now, everybody has become locally concentrated business people. America first says Americans first. Japan says Japan first. China says China first. Vaccine first for my people. Then I will be yours. Business started thinking inward, and as a result, there is a tremendous trend of localization of business. Local products, local industry, local players will get a lot of opportunity. Maybe because of so many policies initiated by the governments also. Say for instance, in India, many ambitious plans of the government like Startup India, Stand Up India, Skill India can be made use at this point of time to localize our business. Followed by that, digitization and data-centric operations. Again and again, even if I don't like to mention this has become the order of the day. Digitization. Your success depends on only data and its discussion. Followed by that, credit. Credit has become a very costly affair. Cash crunch has become the major problem. Many companies are still finding it difficult to arrange for the working capital. Working capital has become a burden for many companies. And marginal cost-based decisions. Needless to say, you will be knowing what is marginal cost-based decisions. Fixed cost is already a sunk cost. It is already there. To survive in the short run, to face the realities of the present, if you acquire only the marginal cost, that's enough. That is the trend today when you make policies and decisions. Too much of worrying about the sunk cost has gone. You have to survive. To survive, to be safe on the day, you need to go for marginal cost based decisions. A robotic supply chain, a robust and robotic supply chain. First, it must be robustic and then robot based. Robust and robotic means technology driven supply chain systems to ensure continuity in the supply. And more than anything, whatever strategy that you make, that must be responsive and sustainable. Responsive is one side. Sustainable means it must be used for long term. But long term solutions are very difficult in a turbulent situation. That is the challenge. Breathing is important today. If I don't breathe, I cannot live for tomorrow. But breathing itself is a problem. So that sustainability is at stake. Many companies are worried about their future consequences. And that is the reason many a time made companies to think in terms of going for closure of their business based on the purpose, the potential, and the perspectives in which they are looking at their business. Fast decisions with a focus on social security. This is another important thing. Social security is also an important issue that we need to keep in mind. If we forget the society, society will forget us, then there will not be any business at all. Therefore, strategy formulators need to be responsive and think in terms of long-term sustenance in this larger interest of the society. What are the new strategic alternatives that you can suggest for people in crisis of this kind? The first thing, whether you like it or not, strengthen your crisis management team. Somebody asked me a question in the beginning, how to handle the future, Strengthen your crisis management. Something is better than nothing. A crisis and a turbulent are two different things, no doubt, but something is better. What happened in India? About 72% of the crisis, 72% of the companies never thought of developing a crisis management system because they thought business means it runs like that. And the remaining 28% of the business organizations with a system of crisis management, but they never used it at any point of time. Therefore, we are not properly trained to handle the crisis. When there is a crisis, how to handle it, we were not aware of that. Nobody taught us. Even people knew about it, never practiced it. As a result of that, we failed miserably during this pandemic, during the last 2 years or so. Now the suggestion is strengthen your crisis management team. Have periodical interaction with this crisis management team. Let this crisis management team be kept his eyes and ears open. Keep watching the trend. Information is power. Information is strength. Preparedness brings luck. Luck favors only the prepared man. Prepare to accept. Don't relax. Don't be complacent. That is the strategy. For every business, we suggest to keep a parachute. I think you can understand what's a parachute. It is a crisis handling device. Keep a parachute with you. Okay? When the crisis comes, don't worry. Take shelter. Take help of the parachute or the sailing boat that you can have. Followed, develop enterprise agility. What does it mean, enterprise agility? Enterprise agility means ability to quickly adapt into the situation. If something fails, I can get into another. I was a grocery seller If grocery business fails, I can get into hotel business. If hotel business fails, I can get into packed food. If the packed food goes, I can get into transportation, something like that. Strategy calls for a broader vision or a mission. Just imagine there was a day where there used to be studios, photo studios at every corner. Just imagine photo studios in every corner. And people used to go to the studio for documenting their memories. What is a photo? Photo was couple go to the studio to take a photograph. During that time, in the initial stages, Kodak business, Kodak camera, Kodak films, very popular business. Kodak cameras and Kodak photo films were very popular. There were many such companies. But immediately some disruption. The disruption is in the form of cameras in everybody's hand, mobile phones. When everybody is having a camera, who will go to the studio? Now, the studio persons came out of the studio. They have become mobile photographers. Mobile photographers, spontaneous delivery, home delivery of photos. Further, what next? They are not only photographers, they will arrange for your other services also in the form of catering, these and all. Likewise, industries need to be agile in their approach. If one business fails, they may think into another. There comes the importance of diversity, strategic diversity. There are different types of diversities: concentric diversity, divergent diversity, conglomerate diversity. Say for instance, diversity into your own area, diversity into unrelated area, diversity into different schemes can make a company to survive. That is what your portfolio management says in finance. Don't put all your money in one box or in one basket. Spread it into different boxes so that you will be safe. That is what agility. Cost management is another important thing. Always keep the cost under control. Either to what the business people did, cost is ultimately going to be transferred to the customer. They never bothered about managing it. Customers are made to pay more. Now the customer has also become intelligent, and in a competitive environment, he prefers value for his money. As a result of that, he will go in search of somebody who gives more benefits, more returns. To give more benefits and more returns to your customer, you need to be cost conscious. In strategic management, we say retrenchment strategy. Retrenchment means cut down the unnecessary activities, cut down the unnecessary expenditures, so that your cost can be saved, and the saved cost, if it is converted into quality, your customer will be happy. Most important thing, concentrate on better workforce management. Ultimately, it is your manpower that matters. That too, when I say workforce, skilled, competent manpower is the asset for any organization. And it says without mentioning that happy workers are asset to any company. Don't neglect the health of your employees, health of their families. Only happy workers can be contributing. If you threaten by creating a fear of losing job, something like that, that's a short-term solution. In the long run, only satisfied employees can contribute for better results. Concentrate on developing competency inside. People's potential ultimately matters. It is not the potential of the business machines that matters, people's potential. Invest on developing potential employees with the unexpected future, unexpected technology, unexpected market requirements. That should be the strategy. For that, the answer is innovate in everything.